We are live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday night's Rabbit Hole. We're about 17 minutes late. Sorry about that. A little bit of delays happening. Some things happening out there in the internet. It's the goblins, right? I'm Joe Slick, and I have my partners Canuck, better known as New Brunswick, Canada guy, and the Snow King. Snowplow King. Luke Klimmer, better known for the shit show on Friday nights. I think we're not doing it this Friday. We're going to start the next one. Is that what we're doing?
No, I think we're gonna have a show this Friday.
Okay, good. The shit show at 10 o'clock Central Standard.
Yes.
And it's blue collar talk for real people. And good show. So join him over on Twitch. It's twitch.tv// say fast, right, son? Yeah. / snowplow_king. There you have him. And there's your plug, buddy.
Thanks for the free advertisement, bud.
Anytime, man. I'm seeing a top of Canuck's head.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, Canuck.
I'm trying to figure out the name of the fault that the swarm is on. But
We'll figure that out. Got to dig out America, huh? I think it's getting a little lighter over here, man. A lot of planes have been going to Guantanamo lately. Hey, Salvador's taking all the bad people, too. They don't care. You know why? Because I think we're giving them money. Yeah, we'll pay for it. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Then they'll just stick them in an oven and still collect the money. They don't have to deal with it. Nobody cares. You know, killers get killed, right?
we're getting them all ready down there for the 7th quake that's coming, like 56.
Yeah. I think we'll hold the question of the day until right at the end.
Yes.
So, the question of the day. That's the big question of the day. Stay tuned, everybody, so you'll know what the big question of the day is. Hang in there. I'm telling you, it's a shocker.
It's gonna be.
It's preordained, and yeah, and I'll tell you why. But further down the road. Mom, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
she can
hear you.
She can hear me. She can't hear you all.
I can't hear them.
Oh man, I don't know.
They're not talking.
Yeah, they're talking, Mom. I apologize. I don't know how to. It worked before.
Yeah.
Maybe I can put her on my iPad. Hey, that iPad might work, and she can get sound. Bear with me, everybody, while I try to solve a dilemma for my mother-in-law, who loves to sit here with us, and she's I don't know, Canuck, you've met her once, I think, online, but you know, maybe you haven't. I don't know.
I think so. I remember.
Yeah. Right. I don't know what happened there. Cancel that. Yeah. There you go. Oh, I know what I got to do. What a knucklehead.
You just figured that out.
Yeah. I figured it out, Mom. Yeah. That's what I was agreeing with, Mom.
Well,
You know, hey, look, I take her to lunch and she gives me shit, man.
Yeah. That's what mother-in-laws are for, right?
I know, right? She, you know.
Got to keep you on your toes, bud.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. All right, here. Hold on a second. Oh, the other way. There she is. What? There she is hiding out. I can spot you. I can spot you right there. There you go. All right, let me grab this thing here. First, I gotta disconnect it from my system. You know how Bluetooths are. You got to disconnect it. Remove device. There you go. Not connected. And whoops.
Gotta be
Settings.
something simple.
It is. I got it. Bluetooth's on. Let's see if it's that one. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. You don't want to connect. Unsuccessful. Okay. How about that one? There's like 3 of them. That'd be trippy if it's trying to pick up my wife's. Sound card Q20.
Oh, she'd be mad.
I know. Right? Like 220, Q20. Connected. All right, Mom. Let me see that.
Put them on.
Connected. All right, it is working. A 10-second delay, but put it on. Oops. Now I got to unplug. You know, it's all fun. God, I almost unplugged it again.
Don't
The arms
so someone can't hear.
I know, right here. Push live here. Come on. Push that. All right, there we go. There you go. All right, say hi, Mom.
Hello.
See,
Oh.
you saw her.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they heard you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did say hi.
Yeah, they see you too. Say wave like that, Mom.
Okay. Good.
Say hello. There. You put your arms down. You take
Yeah.
Did you take a bath today? Okay.
Hello.
Oh.
I did.
Okay. Just pulling your chain, Mom. Just pulling your chain.
Yes.
Just pulling your chain. Don't worry.
Is Chris there?
No, hell no. I have enough. I have enough with just one of you. 2 of you would be too much. There we go. All right, so everybody's there.
Oh.
Hey, Conan, how you doing, Conan? Nice to see you. Let's see. When did the wave
You
cap
could
in?
turn your
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. There's the wave.
you could turn it up.
Mm-hmm. Put it on.
I will.
You need the bag?
No. For you.
She's tough, man. She's tough.
No.
What happened?
What?
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry about it, Mom. Anyway, everybody. Timmy, thank you, bud. Conan, how are you? It was nice to see you.
I'm not.
We lost Luke, but Luke's off screen. That's all right. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Let's get to the channel here. So, 2. Should that do it? Hey. That's fine. Oh, no wonder it's number 1. Dude. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yes, I'm working out the kinks, everybody. Working out the kinks. So let me go to document Cammy McCam, and it's upside down. All right. Boom, boom. There we go. And all right, so we can do that. Put that over here. I can go like this. And window capture. Is it window capture or is it? No, it's not supposed to be a window capture. It's supposed to be a display capture. Not automatic. All right. Primary. There we go.
Well, everything seems to be right way up on your camera there, bud.
Yeah, I'm trying to, trying to get it to work for everybody. For the document McDoc. And see you two in the background there. I see too, so I can probably go like that. Yeah. Well, maybe it's I think there's another way to do it. Add.
That's what I'm seeing, bud.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Video capture device. Existing. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. All right, so now I can go back to that. Nope, that's me. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Go back to number 1. There we go. All right, I got to figure this out. No big deal. Anyway, so tonight we're going to talk about Santorini. Canuck has been diligently looking up the fault that Santorini Mountain here is working on, and I don't know what happened there. Okay, but anyway, is that what that is too? Oh, left is a. That's what I need to do. Yeah, and change mine to number 1. There we go. So this is Santorini, and it's a webcam of Greece. The island has been evacuated. I think most people in the world have found out that it's pretty much in a world of hurt. And there is another site here that I can add from what's his name? Pretty cool dude. Fibro. Yeah, and I'm going to get rid of this chat. There we go. This is an up-to-date. Nope, this is 12 hours back. So he's got another one. Fibro is Santorini right here live. Fibro is showing us the up-to-date version. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to Fibro, Fibro. You'll find the latest information on what's going on there. And the latest earthquakes looks like a 4.2 at 3:02 their time, and total earthquakes 209 earthquakes.
Oof.
And I think that's just today.
Yeah, when I looked at it earlier on one of the articles I was reading, they said 1,700 since January 28th.
Right.
1,700 quakes at whatever time the article was from earlier today. Because I guess it started with the quakes on January 28th, so my birthday.
Yeah, your birthday. Yeah, you disappeared on your birthday, sucker.
Yeah. Well,
we couldn't do anything special for him because he disappeared on us. But hey, whatever. he wanted.
Oh, the old timers were probably there for 1956, so they said, "Well, we survived that, so I'm not going to worry about it."
Oh, the old timers were okay. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's probably why they're staying there, because they know to be up high enough that the 30 meter tsunami's not going to get them.
Yeah, but if they get a 7.7, that's not good.
No, that would be
Go
shaking
through that way
stuff
into
up.
your room. Yeah, she'll be back.
Put it that way and
Go right through the other door, Ma. I can still hear you, Mom.
There, I put the link in for the
All right.
for the tectonic map of Santorini.
Let's check out the tectonic researchgate.net
from 2021.
All right. Verify I'm human. If it comes out as a porno, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it had to do that for me too.
Oh, yeah. It's this Columbus line. Yeah. Wait,
yeah,
there's a caldera there, submarine volcano down there.
Yeah, that's the Colombo volcano submarine, but it's on the same fault line. Like that's part of it, but that fault line is, I think they said 120, 140 kilometers long.
Right. It goes all the way to the other island here. If I did GE here.
Yeah, it goes southwest to northeast.
Yeah, northeast. Yeah.
The fault has a Greek name. I just don't remember what it is, and I can't find it.
Right.
Something I watched the other day or read had the fault line name in it, but I can't find it again.
Yeah, I run into that all the time. It's called old age.
Yeah, but it's the same one that the 7.7 was on in 1956, and the swarm is actually moving up that fault towards where the 7.7 was in 1956.
The Santorini, Columbus.
Which is the biggest Greek quake in modern times.
I'm going to say.
So that's why they're worried.
KOLUMBOS fault. The Colombo fault zone is a fault zone in the Aegean Sea with a dominant fault trend that runs northeast to southwest. Christopher Columbus failure? Oh, no. And they're talking about Christopher Columbus. No, that's not it. Fault zones north. There's group 2 fault similar to trend. Mom's back. I'm not. Why was Columbus? Why are they talking about Christopher Columbus? Coulomb fault zone. Let me try to get this. Yeah.
I don't know. You must have something to do with the history of that island. Or something.
The Colombo fault zone is a geologic feature located in the Aegean Sea, situated approximately 6 kilometers northwest of Colombo volcano, characterized by prominent relay ramps between major overstepping normal faults. It is part of a larger Christina Santorini Colombo rift zone, known for its volcanic activity and seismic events due to the extensional faulting in the area. So interesting. This AMORGOS, Amorgos, it trends right through here. I'll draw a line.
Yeah.
Right
and that's
through here.
Where the big quake was in 56, closer to Amorgos Island there.
Amorgos Island, yeah. This is the UMBO fault zone, the Colombo fault zone, and let's save that. And it's yellow, right? So I think I got a picture of it, and I'm going to bring it over to you right now. Planetary mapping, back arc, Cretan Basin. Sorry, here we go. Here's the Klumbo volcano. Kameni line, the Kameni C or Kameni line. There's the Andros fault, Andros fault.
Yeah, that's it, I think.
Santorini Amargus fault, Los or the Ios fault zone, the Amorgus fault zone that continues beyond the little island. Christiana volcano is on the opposite side in the Christiana Basin. ANAFI fault zone is to the south toward ANAFI Island. The Ios Island is up there. Sikonos Island's in the north. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yes, you can. I can see that now. The Amorgus Island is up here in the top. Continue. So the back arc Cretan Basin is down here. Crete is south of this island, of course. Think southwest. But there's the ANY Dross fault. Here's another little volcano right here, or a little island. But the Columbo volcano is right here. Santorini is this whole island that blew off in, 1620 BC, right?
Yeah.
Santorini volcano. Yeah. What's the history of it? Santorini caldera is a large, mostly submerged caldera located in the southeast Aegean Sea, 120 kilometers north of Crete in Greece. Visible above water in circular Santorini Island, consisting of Santorini, the main island, Teresa, and Esponcia at the periphery, and the Kameni Islands at the center. So the little island in the middle is Kameni. The last eruption is February 2nd, 1950. And let's see what the biggest explosion was. The whole thing when it blew up. I think it was like a VEI 5. And let me see. Yeah, 1610 BC. Central vent, regional fissure eruption, submarine eruption, explosive eruption, pyroclastic flows, pyroclastic surges, phreatic explosions, extensive physical damage, massive lava fountains and extensive lava flows, minor mud flows on the sea, and mega tsunamis, caldera collapse and fatalities. Mass evacuation happens when this thing goes off. They call it the Minoan eruption that happened in 1610 BC. It destroyed the Minoan settlement at Akrotiri, so Akroti, as well as the communities in agricultural areas on the nearby islands in the coast of Crete, with subsequent earthquake and tsunamis. So this thing lost its load. And in past studies that I've studied this was one of the arguments for the pullback and tsunami that enabled Israel to pass the Red Sea with this explosion. Now,
yeah,
it's far-fetched, but it's still an idea because of the tsunamis, the size of the tsunamis. And where a group of people believe the crossing happened, and there are other evidences that it didn't happen there, and that event was maybe a mixture of two events. But crossing the Red Sea is one thing, but crossing into The other is another story, and we can go on to that at another time. But also the Vesuvius was another event that could have happened for Moses crossing the Red Sea, for that event to happen, or the falling, what do you call it, Pelopi or whatever, the rocks that flying from the volcanoes into Egypt. One of these two volcanoes are thought to have created those events for all that to happen, because one of the curses and to let my people go, all that coincides with these events. Is that how you kind of remember it too, there, Kanaka?
Yeah, there's been different things that say, well, they're all speculated on.
Yeah, speculation. Yeah, we look for events that happen in history, and the Bible is a historical book, and we try to see what happened in our studies today to see if there's a correlation. I think that's why I brought it up. But yeah, Santorini right here, man, blowing up big time in 1610. It blew up again 197 BC. The central vent blew up. They don't know when it stopped. It happened again in in 46 AD. Wow, that's kind of interesting. 46 AD. Central vent eruption happened again. Submarine eruption. A new island formed through that explosion, and a tsunami occurred. Also, July 15th, 1726, another explosion happened, and the current vent, central vent eruption, blew its top, and extensive damage, and another new island formed. In 1570 and 1573, it erupted for 3 years. The central vent blowing its top. The submarine eruption as well. New island formation happened as it did. As we have the Kameni Island there in the middle is one of those islands that came up, right? And September 27, 1650 to December 6, 1650, a flank eruption happened. A flank eruption is much like
Off the side.
yeah, off the side, and it would be like St. Helens. That's a flank eruption, right?
Yep.
Also, it was partially a submarine eruption. A new island formed. Explosive eruption happened. Lava dome extrusion happened. And later in 1650, right? That's the flank eruption. In 1707, May 23rd to September 14th of 4 years later, 1711, right? Central vent eruption happened over this time period as well. So you can hear this repetitive times. In the 1700s, it looked like it was pretty busy. 1600s, 1500s. In 1866 to 1870, a central vent eruption occurred again. Regional fissure eruption, submarine eruption, new island formation, explosive eruption, lava flows, lava dome extrusion, fatalities, damage, and all hell broke loose, right? Now we get closer to our time. 1925 to 1928, for 3 years, it erupted again. Central vent eruptions, regional fissure eruptions, explosive, phreatic explosions, lava flows, lava domes, and extrusions in 1925 to 1928. In 1939, not 10 years later, we're real close to that, right? 11 years later, to 1941, plus or minus a day, in July. Central vent eruption, regional fissure eruption, submarine eruption, explosive eruption, phreatic explosions, lava flows, lava dome, created extrusions, and lots of damage. Then, in 1950, January 10th to February 2nd, erupted again. Central vent erupted. Regional fissures erupted. A submarine eruption, explosive eruption, phreatic explosions, lava flows, lava domes. Boom, boom, boom. Here we are 75 years later. That's pretty crazy. From 1866 to 1925, what's that, 40, 60 some years later? 1707 to 1866, well, some about 60 years later, right? 1570 to 1650. Yeah, not much. Like, seemed like about every 100 or so years, or 60 to 100 years, right? The longest time was between 726 to 1570. So that's 700 years. And then, but prior to 726 was the year 46 AD. That's another 700 years, right? Then it was 200 years prior to that. And then from then it was 1400 years. So the known times, 1400 years, a couple hundred years, 700 years. And then from 1570, it's blown up 1570, 1650, 1707, 1866, 1925, 1939, and 1950. And then it gone quiet. So this event is reoccurring. And if it's anything like it's been doing since 1500, it's going to blow up. So that's the history of it. Do you have anything to add there to what you got going on, Canuck?
Yeah, or it's going to make a big quake.
Yeah.
How big a quakes do they have out there?
The one that was there in 56, which is the link I put in the chat, was 7.7. That's the biggest Greek quake in modern history. Was on that same fault line.
Yep.
So I put it there in chat. It's not a very long article. So,
Right, 1956. Now, the eruption of Santorini happened in 1950, 6 years later. This one happened, and this quake is I don't know about where the epicenter is. Let's look that up. How close it was to Santorini here. All right, so let's go copy volcanoes. Let's go ahead and we'll look it up. Oh, look at that. That's the okay. So on the fault line just north, and what do we call that? How large was 7.7?
Yeah.
7.7 in 1956.
And the current quake swarm started down closer to Santorini, but it's moving right up that fault line. So if you look at where it started on January 28th and where it is now, it's moving up that fault line. So they were worried at first that there was going to be a big quake on the southern part of the fault line, but now they don't know.
Right, seeing how it's kind of moving up, Santorini seismograms. You can see we just had another quake here, 4.2 at 3:02. Let me see. This is not live, so let's go live. 4.3. Yeah, he was a 4.2. See, since we've talked, there's been a 3.5, a 4.5, a 4.4, and a 4.3. Serious stuff going on.
It's rattling pretty good.
Yeah, it is. The live version of the island picture of Santorini. They have a lot of festivals up there, and one big giant festival. I always kind of, if I was ever going to go, I'd want to go to that big festival. So I think it's called the Festival of Lights or something. But
now this is their off season now because it's winter, which is why there's less ferries. So it took them longer to evacuate people off of there. because they have more ferries going to that island in the summer when it's tourist.
If I'm not mistaken, that line kind of continues. Wasn't too long ago, but you can continue with your Amorgus earthquake. So I'll look something up and I'll be right back with you. But
yeah, I'll just read it because it's not very long.
Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, so I'll go back here to that. So the 1956 Amorgus earthquake occurred at 3:11 UTC on July 9th. It had a magnitude of 7.7 on the moment magnitude scale and a maximum perceived intensity of 9 on the Mercalli intensity scale. The epicenter was to the south of the island of Amorgos, the easternmost island of the Cyclades, or however they say it, in the Aegean Sea. There was significant damage on Amorgos and the neighboring island of Santorini. It was the largest earthquake in Greece in the 20th century. It was followed 13 minutes later by a magnitude 7.2 earthquake near Santorini. It triggered a major tsunami with the maximum run-up of 30 meters. The combined effects of the earthquake shaking and the tsunami caused the deaths of 53 people with a further 100 injured. And then it talks about the Cyclades Island group lies within a zone of extensional tectonics in the Aegean Sea plate between the South Aegean volcanic arc to the south and the continuation of the North Anatolian fault to the north. The extension is a result of the bulging out of the Hellenic arc due to the flat slab subduction of the African plate. The earthquake's focal mechanism is consistent with normal faulting trending southwest to northeast. From the distribution of aftershocks, it is possible to discriminate between the two nodal planes implied by the focal mechanism, indicating that the fault plane dips to the southeast at about 25 degrees. The rupture area is estimated to be about 110 kilometers along strike and 26 kilometers in depth, extending into the upper mantle. The tsunami affected a large part of the Aegean Sea. The variable distribution of the observed run-ups combined with inconsistent timing of the wave arrivals at different locations suggests that the earthquake triggered underwater landslides, which were the main cause of the observed tsunami. Damage was severe, particularly on Santorini. The earthquake demolished 529 houses and left many others damaged. 53 people were killed as a result of the earthquake, with another 3 killed by the associated tsunami.
Pretty crazy.
So that was pretty wild. 56. Oh, there's all sorts of other interesting earthquakes that year, and which we'll get into. But since we started this, I found a thing that once Joe put up the name of that fault. There's a study on the last 30 years of quakes on that fault and when it swarmed. And so I looked in that study, it talks about the dates. So I looked up the dates of the swarms. And it was like 2004, 2011. Right before the last.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty interesting.
So
now
I was going to ask this: the 7.7 that happened in 1956, was it kind of at the beginning of the cycle of that busy year, or was it kind of toward the end?
Well, it was July, so it was the middle. I already know what happened in February because that's when all those crazy Baja quakes were, the 4.6s that we talked about in one of the other.
Oh yeah, we talked about these before. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were in February, so this is all the same year we're talking about. Well, since now I've looked into more of that year and where the big quakes were, it's pretty interesting because it's like Japan,
right?
Hungary, Afghanistan, Nicaragua had a 7. Well, I guess we may as well just go and look at the list. So it's pretty interesting. Because it's kind of all the same things that are acting up right now. So,
You're seeing the same pattern play out over and over again.
yeah. Now I'd have to go back and look into more detail and like when exactly those swarms were in 2004 and 2011 along that Anidos Fault, or however you say it, Anidos or whatever it is, because they've been studying it in detail the last 20, 30 years because they've been recording all the quakes and like when there's swarms. And the study that came out on it was in 2021, so same year as that map that we showed at the start. That map came out in 2021, so they must have been doing a whole bunch of stuff in 2021 on this. So, because the other one I found, I'll bring it up here. It talks about like the seismicity along that fault and what it's been doing in the last whatever 20, 30 years. So it's pretty interesting. And see what's interesting, we had the swarm in Ethiopia too, right? Now it's swarming up. See, it's all the same plates interacting, right? So it's pretty interesting.
Right.
Getting the Africa plate moving and the Arabian.
Let me know if you put a link in there because I'm doing some research with you.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the earthquakes in the region.
Well, I don't think it's rare. You just need all the data.
Right.
And the farther you go into this, you can find data that proves it. And now that I think back, I'm pretty sure there was crazy stuff going on in the Red Sea in 56 too. Because that was some of the swarms articles I looked up before when I was looking up Ethiopia.
Right.
I'd have to go back and find it again. Because I think it's the plates moving. So when one moves and swarms, it's going to readjust in another place that's near it. And that's probably what it's doing now. Like I'd have to go back and look up every single time it swarmed at every single place and find out if there's a connection.
Right.
Because it's pretty interesting to me. Because this is all, they said in one of the ones we just looked at that it's from basically the Africa plate subducting, right? Well, we've had. So to me, that would make sense that if all that stuff was happening in Ethiopia, that up here is going to have to adjust too. Now I'd have to go back and see if it was.
That would be interesting right there.
I don't know, I can't remember the dates that were in the swarm thing I looked at for Ethiopia because it was like 60 years worth. So I can't remember if like something was happening for 56 or 55 in Ethiopia. I remember there was stuff in the Red Sea because when I looked it up, I got both Ethiopia and the Red Sea swarms both. So I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look up which one it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Red Sea one that was having swarms. And
you said 1956, this one, right?
Yeah.
Did you know a year later there was a 7.3 on the image that I'm showing you right now?
In what, 57?
Yep. Find that quite interesting.
Farther up.
I got another quake right next to it. What I'm doing is I'm posting all these quakes.
So the 57 one.
There was actually two quakes in 1957.
Farther up the line.
Yeah, in the same spot, there were two quakes in 1957. Both sevens. One's a 7.3 and one's a 7.
And you have to remember too that Turkey is the Anatolian plate, and it goes the other way. It adjusts to anything running into the Arabian plate, right? So it moves west.
Correct. Yeah, it pushes.
And the big quakes in Turkey 2 years ago were this time of year, February.
Yeah, 23. Yep, I wrote them down.
And that was the East Anatolian Fault, which is where the Arabian Plate runs into the Anatolian Plate. And when I looked up 56, there was a big quake in Lebanon, too. So it's pretty interesting stuff because it's like, well, to me, it's like the plates being all bumped and one adjusting together. It may take like a year or two or whatever.
But that's why we look. That's why we look at those things when we look things up. And I do. As soon as I'm almost done here, I have 3 other quakes after this one that I put in that we have listed since 1700 in this area. These are known quakes.
And Hungary had a fairly big quake in 56 too. So I wonder if you kept going on that same line, if it would take you to Hungary. Actually.
I wonder. And I get up there with the Antiloan.
No, I guess it would go more towards probably, well, I don't know. I can't really tell. I'm zoomed in close.
Yeah, I have just a few more.
And Spain had a bigger quake that year too, 56.
This is in 1970.
And I think there was a big one in Afghanistan. And 2 off coast Tokyo. Izu Islands, and I can't remember.
Oh, Isuzu?
Yeah, Izu Islands, yeah. So same place has been acting up lately, so it's pretty interesting.
These are all 7s and above that I'm posting here to get us to the point where we can kind of look at the area, and a lot of these are in Turkey, by the way. Here's a 7.0 that happened in 1919.
Yeah, and remember we had the one in 2020, the 7 that was...
Yeah, I put it in Izmir. Yeah, I got that on the list already. Yeah, I have that one already. That's what I was saying. Well, I wonder what line that's on. It's slightly off, but I was wondering. It's still in that, northeast zone. And I have now, I just came across a 1949 quake. That's relatively close. We watch quakes all day long, move through Turkey.
Done it on USGS.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I did. I'm looking them all up from USGS. And I got the epicenters from 1700 in the area. That these are the known quakes in the area that are 7 or larger. And the information here, I have it down below. As it saves, there's one more quake up here. 1981 was the last one up there. And I do have the 2 larger quakes that happened in 23 already set on this list as well. This will be the last one in this area that has happened. And it's a 7.2. 7.2 happened in 12/19/1981. As it saves, okay. So you can see all the from this 1956 earthquake right here in the center. We had a 1948 just right in here, a 7.3. In 57, the next year after this quake, we had two of them over here, a 7.1 and a 7.3. And those are the closest dates. I mean, we have a 49 up here, a 7.2 on the upper side. So what we should do is look at these and the dates and look back here, seeing how we can almost watch quakes come out of Afghanistan, move across up through Iran and Baghdad, and come right through. If I put on the EMSC, which I'm doing right now.
Yeah, like what I'm wondering now, is it from the Africa plate moving, or if it's from the Arabian plate
right
bumping into the Anatolian plate?
Right. This is the EMSC. You can see right here. Hold on as it comes up for you. I have to share this. Hold on a second. All right. So yeah, we're delayed. So
you probably still have the stuff coming across, but I'm wondering if stuff happens down below too to add into it.
Right. Okay. We're coming up. Okay, cool. All right. So if you watch up here in this box up at the top, right, I scrolled back 3 hours and I'm scrolling back, 12 hours. Right. And I do this every morning. And I watch the red dots up there because they have them listed down below. This is 12 hours out. Here's Greece, what's happening here. Now watch what happens in this region as I scroll to current time. All right. You'll see some over here in Asia, and you'll see some up here, right, in Greece. Watch the red dots. The maritime continent's bouncing. Oh, we got a couple going through Turkey. Right? Indonesia popped, and then Turkey popped. Indonesia again. And look at there, Iran. Couple more in Turkey. Another one in Turkey. Another one in Turkey. Another one in Iran, Pakistan. Or Pakistan's over here. Oh, that's Iran. Another one coming up out of Myanmar or India, China, back up into Turkey again. There's the lower part of Iran, and then there's the upper part. I don't know if that's Georgia or way up there, northeastern Iran. So sorry, it's northeastern Iran. And then we got Turkey again. It goes back into Greece. And you'll see it pop out of Greece, go through Italy up into Germany. You'll see it pop out into Spain. So it's following the plate boundaries. Our supposition is that earthquakes don't happen in a vacuum. They're not random. They follow a pattern. And all we're doing is we're trying to ascertain what that pattern is. And if so, what can these patterns tell us? And not necessarily we're looking for forecasting. There's people that want to forecast because they want the glory or whatever, their little minds can create. Look what I called. So what? Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. And it's impossible. But we can say that there's a trend and places to watch. That's about it. You can't forecast earthquakes. I don't think you can. But what you can do is you can say, hey, Greece is going off right now. Why? What is it about what's going on? Well, hell, you look like Canuck just said. Look a couple of 1,000 miles south. What's been happening? Africa has been going crazy. And now we have a swarm up here. I think that swarm in Africa was going, oh my gosh, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And now it's stopped. It's not there. So it very, very, very interesting. Now, there's a rift that's happening in Africa. The rift that's happening here in Greece, this is a rift. It's another rift. And in the same northeast, southwest formed rift, just like the African one, northeast to southwest. So what is that telling us? Where's the pressure coming from? Yeah, we're getting earthquakes falling along the plate boundaries, but what's really going on? Now, if you took broken ice that's 2 inches thick and it's on a lake, and you pushed one ice and it banged up against another ice, and because it's not round, it's not square, it's not triangle, it's all different shapes, it'll show you that it's moving kind of funny. And that's kind of what the plate boundaries are trying to do here. And I think that's what they're showing us. Kat, hey Kat, how you doing? She says,
because the Arabian plate is smashing into the Anatolian one,
mm-hmm.
And then the Anatolian one is moving.
Right, and the rift, the African rift, is spreading right up the Red Sea, pushing on the Arabian plate, pushing on Africa.
Yeah, both.
Yeah,
because it's splitting.
And now, I mean, the Arabian plate pushes up against the Anatolian, and the Anatolian is like a teeter-totter. You know, you're pushing one end up, the other end's going down, and what's happening? We got this big banger, right? What does she say? A swarm could be a way in which the plate is indicating that stress may be building elsewhere. I agree, Kat. That's why we kind of look at, 1 or 2 years on either side for larger quakes,
But it's only like recently that we're adding the swarms into this, right?
Correct. Oh. Right. There's a theory out there that there is a massive earthquake storm outbreak which led to the fall of some of the Middle Eastern civilizations. I don't doubt it. Life itself here on this planet is tenuous. People don't understand. Life has been wiped out many, many times. And the latest would probably be the Younger Dryas, if you believe in that, which is about 13,000 years ago. That things stopped. A lot of megafauna, it's big animals, died out. Yet mankind was here and then wasn't and then was, because somehow it survived. And, you got the 66 million year ago event. You've got the 190 million year ago event. You have the 250 million year ago event. All these massive events, most of them. Good to see you guys on YouTube. Yeah, we're banging pretty hard life on this planet, and here we are trying to kill each other, right? Life itself is being killed by volcanics, by floods, by asteroids. It doesn't take much. The Siberian deal that wiped out the earth. Life barely survived that. The mid-Atlantic ridge, when it did its thing, nearly wiped out all life. Both of those were volcanic. One was on land, one was under the water. That spread up. Gas, acid rain, killed the sea creatures, and then an asteroid wiped out the planet, almost killed us all. 66 million years ago. I don't think men was here, or our people were here. I think we were here maybe as far back as 1.2, but I think the earliest they can see modern man is 250,000 years ago. And that's before the last ice age or during it. I think the last ice age ended like 16,000 years ago, and then it came back after the younger Dryas, and then it started warming up again. And it's interesting anecdotal evidence that shows all that stuff, but we'll set that aside to say that, hey, let's not kill each other. Let's try to get along and understand that the earth is telling us something. I think the earthquakes are saying something more. This is just like on the surface, something's happening down below. What is that down below? You know, and I think that we often talk about lineaments, not liniment like a limit you put on your arm when you got a boo-boo, but a lineament of electromagnetic energy that travels along a line reoccurringly. Earthquakes seem to happen along that dang thing when they don't happen elsewhere so much, but along that damn line. And I think that's interesting. But that's the earth telling us something. And then I think there's weather events, that tell us, electromagnetic energy, wind, that creates storms, and heat and cold and all that. We get that all from our solar sun. So the sun has an effect on us. I think it's all part of the game. And if you only stay, there's an earthquake right here, and I only study right here, then you'll think that that's the only thing that happens right there. But you got to get out of the box. And I love the fact that Canuck does that, and I do that, and Luke does that. And I think, even Kat does that, and Eden does that. There are a lot of people that try to think outside the box to try to figure out, hey, they're not telling us everything because these guys specialize in an area, and that's all they think about. It's all they can see. And I think that's the beauty of what happens over on Nick Zentner's show, where he brings a lot of geologists together and they hash it out and say, well, I thought that, but it might be different. I think that's interesting. The sore looks like a sore thumb. Interesting that you say that. Maybe it is, this is an interesting earthquake. It's in the south, a 4.3. That's recent. Happened at 2:44. 2:44 is right here. Interesting that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, Strait of Gibraltar had a little earthquake, 2.1. Look at this swarm here, Canuck. The swarm is in the north. This one's in the south. Yeah. And that's odd. And it's a 4.
Well, yeah, but still the Africa plate going underneath. Right?
Sure. Yeah. There's a rift zone right up in here. I don't know where I think down here is where, or maybe off of Crete. Off of Crete is where it's subducting. I wonder what the distance is. Here's the subducting plate. And,
well, they say the slab is kind of flat in those articles.
It is. It's within that area, 125 to 150 miles. So, yeah. Very well could be
all the way up there.
Yeah. After a subduction zone, depending on how, if it's a deep subduction or if it's kind of a flat subduction, depends upon how many volcanics can be created. But this is within
looking into 1956. I don't see any big Africa quakes, but that doesn't mean it wasn't swarming back then.
Right. I'll be interested to see if Etna, Vulcano, or Stromboli go off. I know Campiflagri has been acting up quite a bit. It is along that, similar rift, the African subduction zone. through the Ionian Sea. But it's on the west side of, I think, the boundary line through Italy. I'd be interested to see if there's any other activity. Did you do a search yet? You got 1956.
Yeah, I just looked at 56. I never ran any.
56 earthquakes.
Yeah.
And we pretty much do this all the time.
But there's a lot of them on that east-west line if you keep going either way. Like what you'll see it when you pull it up, 1956. Like just even looking at the top 10 quakes, you can pretty much see what it's doing.
All right. List of earthquakes. I don't think it'll have a 1956, will it?
Yeah, I already have it here anyway. I can bring it up.
Yeah, bring it up for us.
Get it here again. I got so many things open now. I still have all the stuff from the fires open from last time.
Oh my gosh.
Because I just looked back. I wanted to see if there's any California fires in 56, but they weren't. They were in 55. So the year before this happened. Because I wanted to see if there's fires on the same line. I'd have to dig more into Greece to find out, or Turkey.
Right. Do you remember that interesting guy that was from Greece? He had an interesting name, a Greek name.
Yeah.
Do you remember him? Nice guy. When the fires happened down in Greece and into Turkey during that summer, that's when he kind of fell off.
Yeah, because I was trying to convince them that it always burns around. They get wildfires.
Yeah, right.
And now what's funny, Greece is making their own wildfire.
Yeah. With their satellites, yeah.
And they bought a whole bunch of water bombers from Canada too. The Greeks did, which is probably what's going to happen with California. Is probably going to do the same thing.
All right, 1956 by January. We have. Well, I'm just going to look at anything.
Because the quake we're referring to was July 9th, but I looked at the whole year. I already knew a little bit about 56, because that's when all those Baja quakes, the 4.6s happened. Was February 56. Which those 4 quakes just happened to be where the big gigantic fire was in Baja.
Well, there was a quake in Italy in a 6.2 in 1956.
Yeah. There's one in Spain.
There is Baja's banging away in 1956 as well. 4 of them. All 6s, big 6s too.
Yeah, the San Miguel.
Turkey had a 6.2. Haida Gwaii went off at 56.
Vallecito's fault, which is where the big fire just was in Baja. That was way bigger than Border 2 fire.
Lebanon had a couple of 5s. So looking just around the area of the 1956 quake. So we have Italy and Lebanon in January, February, March. Spain had a 5. Wow.
Because see, when we were doing it the other time, we were trying to figure out where the Baja quakes were coming from.
Correct.
See, now we're doing it from a different location.
It's interesting that when Baja goes off or California goes off, we always hear of Greece. And here we are, Greece, again, 1956, and Baja is going off big. So it's like, hey, why is there a weird connection? Still looking for anything that kind of would pique my interest over there. Greece, the Dodecanese, or Dodecanese, 7.7. That's the Amargos earthquake, and that is, what we're talking about. That happened in July 9th. So what led up to it? Crete had a 6.1 after the fact.
Then Crete adjusted to the 7.7.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what it just did with that Ford, all the swarm, right?
Yeah, interesting. Thessaly, Eastern Thessaly came up with a 5.5 in Greece as well. That's online or on Greece itself up north. So that's interesting. In December, I don't see anything in December. Okay, so I'm going to go back in 55.
If Turkey had a big quake in 55.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up right now, yeah. In 55 January. I
don't remember.
Pakistan a 6. Anything that would kind of go over that way is what I'm looking for. Tajikistan had a 6.3. And I'm into April already. Greece 5.6, Peloponnese, Greece. So the big portion of Greece had a 5.6 in 1955. Thessaly again 6.2, which is northern Greece. That's interesting. So 2 big quakes in Greece. And Thessaly again 5.9 that same month of April. Really, that's wild.
So Greece was acting up then the year before.
Year before, yeah. I mean, just July. Don't see anything in July, August. I can get into, far out like China and Indonesia, but I'm not trying to go that far away. I'm trying to stay within the Egypt had a 6.2.
Oh. Well,
in September.
Where was that? Red Sea or
Alexandria earthquake, yeah. So that's in northern Egypt.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, that's northern Egypt. Yeah, right on the coast. Eastern Mediterranean, Egypt Sea earthquake magnitude 6.3. Damage reported in the Nile between Alexandria and Cairo. Okay. The earthquake was felt in Cyprus, Palestine, Syria, and Greece. That's pretty. Usually, after we see in Egypt,
what they said, if they felt it, what in Cyprus and Greece too?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it went the whole way across. Well, now
all the way across. Yeah.
That's like northwest to southeast line matching. Red Sea angle.
I'd be interested to see if anything happened in Spain after this one, because when Egypt is one of those demarcations for me for the 1755 quake of Spain or Portugal.
Yeah.
I don't see anything there. November, nothing. Yeah, there's nothing big happening in Europe. So, and we don't really know. I mean, the connection. Yes, there were some Indonesian, China quakes that have happened. Big China quakes, 6.9, 6.9, Xingzhang. In what month? April. So China had a 7.1, a 6.9, a 6.9. Right after the Peloponnese region, and the bookmarks.
China Nepal quake here. When was that? A week or two ago?
Yeah, sure was, wasn't it? Yeah. Xingzhang is the northeast. a province of China. So that's right before you get to it, right? Xinjiang is here's China. So right up in here, Xinjiang, right here, Xinjiang. So yeah, that pressure could have come down, and there probably wasn't many seismograms out here. Okay, Mom.
I'm gonna go to that. Oh,
Okay. Good night, sweetheart.
okay. Good night, hon.
Hi.
They say good night.
So let's go to 57 and see what happened in 57.
Yeah.
Don't want to
After
screw it up.
Yeah. All right, sweetie.
All right. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Because I want to see what happened in 57 if it.
We did 57, but oh no, we did 56. Let's go to 57.
Just for
Let's see what happened afterward.
just for fun.
All right. Interesting. January, Alaska, Fox Islands, big time. China, Heilongjiang 6.9. Yeah. Soviet Union, Kamchatka 6.4, Mongolia 6.4. So that's all probably related to China. Mindanao was going crazy. Greece, South Greece 6.0 in 57. So Greece was pretty busy over this time period. In Greece, Thessaly 6.5, 6.4, 6.0. And then that's when
Wasn't Thessaly going off in 55 too?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So now it's still going off in 57.
And then also we have in Adrena Islands had an 8.6.
Wow, 57.
Mm-hmm. Alaska was going big time that year. Fox Islands and Adrena Islands.
Well, I remember that all that would be leading into 59, which was the big Kamchatka quake and Lake Hebgen.
Mm-hmm.
Because see now we're in 57, so we're getting, and 58 was the Latuya
God,
Bay.
the earthquakes that happened in the Fox Islands and Adrena Islands, massive. 6.9, 6.6, 6.5, 6.6, 6.5, 7.1, 6.2, 7, 6.5,
Well,
6.5.
to me that would make sense because it would be all leading into all the big stuff that happened in 58 and 59, right?
Mm.
But we're coming at it from the Greece angle here,
right? We're trying, yeah. San Francisco out of 5.3, but
like we've done this before. It's just we've been targeting a different quake, trying to figure out exactly. But now we're doing it from the Greece perspective.
From the Greece perspective, yeah, Grecian. Yeah, I keep seeing Mindanao, or Philippines and Alaska going zonker. There's Xinjiang again, 6.4. I don't know why we got onto Greece. I guess we needed to do that, get into Greece, because it keeps coming up on many of our United States
West
earthquake.
Coast.
Yeah, and East Coast, West Coast, all the way up the Pacific chain there. Big giant quakes. Indonesia and Yapen. Where's Yapen? Is northwestern coast of New Guinea. Okay. Oof. That means Indonesia is in trouble. India banged real hard there. 6.2 and a 6.6. Iran. Sunda Strait had a 6. We just had a quake in Sunda Strait here yesterday, today. Carrero had a 7.6. Wow. When you start looking these up, they start making a lot more sense. The Kurils, 6.5, then Fox's Kurils, just going crazy. I'm not seeing any Grecian stuff. It went quiet. Greece went quiet. Baja didn't. Mexico didn't, for sure. Kamchatka had big 7.6 in October. In November, Sea of Okusk 7.2. In the East Cantonment. All right.
Yes, the whole North Pacific was going crazy.
Yeah, and the maritime continent was kind of going crazy too, if you include all of the islands. So 57 was kind of interesting, to tell you the truth. Low China quakes, not so many Grecians, but Alaska just went ballistic.
So in 57, it didn't seem to jump to Italy or any place like that. Didn't look like it.
All right.
Because I didn't see any Italy quakes. Down too. Well, unless Etna or something was erupting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm interested in that aspect. Let me take a look at Etna eruptions. Geez, Mount Etna, Wikipedia here. 1920 to present. 49, 71, 79, 81, 83, 91 to 93, 1971. So I guess it started up again in 1949.
Mount Etna erupted in 1956 with explosive activity from the central crater and lava flows that covered hundreds of square meters. March 30th, 1956, it had a big flank collapse, similar to that experienced by Mount St. Helens, it says.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that in the one I just looked up. So they didn't have that information. So, hey.
Well, my thing does the AI thing at the start now.
Yeah, mine does too.
So I get all that. But then it breaks it down. It gave me another article, Etna during 1955 to 1960.
Four flank eruptions, 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5, 8 to 9. Some eruptions occurred since 2000.
So Etna was blowing up February, March, and April 1956. So that would have been right before.
Yeah, July. Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So something's pushing. So we should be watching Etna right now. I wonder. Let me take a look at Etna volcano.
Now I got to go in and see what was going like 57.
I wrote it live.
So small, I can't read it.
I don't know. I don't think there's a live version right now. Kilauea is still, steaming real hot right now. Live. All right. Oh, in 3 hours, this guy will put it on. I'm not going to tell you who he is. Because I just won't do it.
Well, there's some crazy guy that was measuring all this stuff in 56. He's like super detailed, like how much stuff there was and everything, how much it erupted. And because the article I'm looking at, it's like this guy recording all the stuff.
Wow, it's going ape turd right this minute. This is Santorini right now. Look at all the earthquakes right now. tons of fours. This is pretty crazy. This is from Fibro. Like I said, if you like watching that stuff, and he's got the depths too. In the last 5 hours, they're pretty shallow. All these quakes are really shallow. Yeah. Between the deep ones are no deeper than 12 to 17. The lower ones are 2 to 4, 5 kilometers in depth. So pretty crazy.
Well, from this article I'm reading now, it kind of calmed down. Etna did in 57 and 58, but then it went batshit crazy, 59 and 60. So that's interesting. Like a long eruption. Started in March, April 1959 and went all the way through to July 1960. That's interesting.
See if I can watch it loaded here. All right. Making sure I have these. Yeah, it's picked up dramatically in the last hour. You can see that there's a separation between here online. What's happening out there? Time for the four swarms.
Uh-oh. Prince Harry might be deported. There's something wrong with his paperwork.
Oh, good. Bye. Get out.
That's pretty funny.
Take that
Breaking
girl
news.
with you. Take your wife with you, because you bleeding heart weirdos.
Well, she's Canadian, though, so
I don't care.
sent back to Canada. Actually, maybe you get deported to Canada.
We didn't get into Iceland tonight. I think we'll stop it here. I don't know how many hours we're into it now.
We're like an
hour and a half. It's good.
An hour.
Yeah, Santorini update, everybody. We did quite a lot on Santorini. We kind of looked up the historical record, and yeah, it's just insane what is happening right now. And Luke is not there anymore, but yeah. Anything? You're clicking there, buddy.
Yeah. And Pete Alonso back to the Mets. That's the baseball news.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
All
So
right
not-
then.
Not to the Blue Jays.
Do we have any questions out there, Eden or Kat? Or she mentioned that there were some false earthquakes out in the Dead Sea area and Africa, Chad, but I didn't see anything online. We'll talk about the floods tomorrow or the next day in Australia. Crazy, man. There's just a lot of information, man, and it is peaked up. So be alert that there is no doubt that this thing is peaking right now.
I thought Prince Harry was living in L.A. Somewhere's around L.A.
Well, hopefully his condo burned down.
I thought that's where he was, but maybe not.
Yeah. Can you believe the person who created the Black Lives Matter, or who was part of the deal? Maybe not the creator and the purpose for Black Lives Matter, which I endorsed, but not how it went sideways.
Yeah.
They lost a few mansions. What are you dealing with mansions? You're supposed to help other people.
Yeah.
What do you need a mansion for? Whatever, teach his own, right?
Yeah. Well, they generated enough funds to buy a mansion, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Well, wonder where old Lukey boy went. For those who stayed with us,
maybe he had to go plow because he said it was snowing there.
Yeah, it was snowing. Yeah, he's still there, but he's not. He's got probably somebody came over. The question of the day. For those who stayed and want to hear the question of the day, I know the question. Maybe I'll call him, see if he wants to ask it. Let me see where my boy at. I love this guy. He's a funny man. He said he wanted to ask the house a question. So I texted him. So he might be busy, but he might not be. I texted him, so he could be eating with his honey too. You never know. Yeah. Stars, his wife Stars, she's a pretty nice lady. All right. Yeah, I figured he said he had company came in. So a question of the day there, Canuck.
Yeah.
I understand now you're going to be able to come here in May.
In May.
You're not going to need a passport anymore because you're going to become an American citizen. So, how do you feel about that?
I don't think it's going to be happening.
Yeah, well, you might be. You might be 53rd state, 54th.
The prime minister.
Nah. He's done. He's cooked. He's cooked. They're going to force the comeback of the, what do you call it? Your House of Commons or whatever. They're going to have them all come back. And this fool, he's done. He's cooked. He talked to Trump again and said, "Okay, we'll do this." But he's got 1 month reprieve.
The guy that's leading the liberal leadership race, though, is, well, you guys probably don't even know who he is, but I know who he is. So he's already.
Is he worse?
Oh yeah, he's an EU guy.
Oh, he's the guy that says he's European.
Yeah.
And
he was the Bank of Canada governor, and then he was the Bank of England governor, and he's one of the main ones that's for the climate change thing because he's one of the main WEF people. And then the second place thing is the.
So I think what's going to happen is New Brunswick is going to leave Canada. They're going to join the United States as the 51st. Then Ottawa might, but I think Saskatchewan and BC will become the 53rd and 54th. And I think he's going to only be left with
and supposedly Carney already has a deal with Jagmeet to support the Liberal government. So now
I know.
There's not going to be an election until October 2026.
October, yeah. So his resignation meant shit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it's just a delaying tactic.
Yeah.
In there forever.
But so the question is to you: how do you like your new citizenship? You're an American now.
It's not
no longer a Canuck. Well, you can be a Canuck, but I think you're a Maple Leaf. Are you not? Are you a Maple Leaf?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Maple Leaf, so you don't even care. So yeah. So the freedom that you have now. So you can come and visit with us in May, and we'll set you up pretty, and your sister will have to, feed her son.
World War III doesn't happen before.
Oh, shoot. There he is.
After 8 is going.
I asked him, but did you want to ask him again?
And then nobody would be going anywhere except
Yeah, Canuck will be able to come visit me first, and then we'll come down to Arizona and visit you, and no passport needed, right?
No passport needed. He'll be a citizen. I said,
Yeah.
I said, what is it? New Brunswick, where Canuck lives. He'll be the 51st state. I think Saskatchewan might be the 54th, and
well, I
BC
don't know.
might be the 53rd.
Gaza might end up the 51st state before all the rest of this.
Where's that?
I said Gaza might be the 51st state before.
Oh, Gaza. Yeah. No, we're not. We're just gonna take it over, and then give it to the Saudis.
Alberta.
Because I asked that some of the other chats that I've been in. Now there's a big battle of which state's going to be absorbed first.
No, Gaza's not going to be a state. What it's going to be is he's going to take control of it, give it to the Arabs, and say, "Hey, look, build on it," because there's no way 1.2 million people, 1.7 million people can go back and live in Gaza. There's nothing there. It's leveled. There's no housing. There's no water. There's no sewer. There's no electricity.
Well,
it's gone.
It's a moon. They'd have to move if you cut off the aid to there.
No, but you don't understand. There's no place for them to live. They have to leave.
Well, that's what they would do if you cut off the
no
aid.
Building.
No, the aid's not going to do it. You don't understand. You need shelter.
In tents on the beach.
Oh, they're going to live on tents?
But if they're
going to have to for a while.
Stay there. Right?
Well, they're going to be nomads in the land of broken concrete. I mean, seriously, it's only practical. Have them move to Egypt and Saudi for a little while and Jordan. There's a reason why Palestinians left Jordan. If you know the story behind it, Jordan got rid of them and they're happy they're gone because they tried to take over Jordan.
Yeah.
But we gave Jordan weaponry and they kicked their shit out because they're trouble.
Brits did too originally.
They're trouble. Jordan. Now, the people themselves, I don't think are necessarily bad. It's the philosophy of, a certain few. I mean, when you see people running out for food, right? Then some guy comes back with a machine gun and says, "Get back. This is mine. You're going to pay for it. You're not going to get it for free." I got to say, fuck you. I'll say, I'm not going to follow you. And that's what these people, they're afraid. They live at one gun on one side and indifference on the other side. Because Israel just wants to live their own lives. They don't give 2 cents. But they live under the gun. And under the gun of these people who said, "Oh, we're Palestinians. We're going to run the world. We're going to run your country." How stupid.
Well, there used to be communities just on the other side of the border there from Gaza and Egypt, and the Egyptian army leveled the whole place as it looks just like that now.
But there's a reason. All the Arabs don't want them because the history behind the Palestinian people, they never had a king. They weren't there. They were there because the Romans brought them. They in what 46 AD or whatever, when the last battle of Israel, when Rome came and destroyed them and kicked all their butts and dispersed them throughout all the nations and killed a ton of people. They imported these groups from over there up by Serbia, brought them into Palestine, and then they renamed Canaan Palestine, just so Israel won't have a name. So every time the name Palestinian is brought up, it's an affront to the Jews because it's their land. They had kings going back thousands of years. The Palestinians didn't. The history is there. They don't have a history.
in the Bible, the promised land actually goes from the
all the way, all the way
sea
to
to the river, but it's not the Jordan River; it's the
no,
Euphrates.
it's the Euphrates River, up past Syria, up past Lebanon. Yeah,
So it's like most of
the
Syria,
the King
most
Davidic,
of
the
Iraq,
Davidic kingdom is all the way up there. Yeah,
Saudi Arabia, and all the way down to the Red
yeah,
Sea. Egypt.
yeah. But anyway, that's neither here. We can't solve this problem, but I think it's very funny for
So
somebody
even
to say
Yemen
Gaza is
is
going to be, the
Yemen is
51st state. But
Jewish land too.
I think we ought to push for New Brunswick to be the 51st state, and then we'll go for BC being the 52nd state, Saskatchewan and Alberta being the 53rd and 54th.
Whenever they've talked about joining the states here, it's all the maritime provinces, Atlantica, and we join with the Northeast to make the.
Maybe we can go up there and bypass you and just get the Nunavut people.
So it'll be all the liberal people along the eastern side here.
I know, right?
New York City right on up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because Maine, if you read about any stuff in Maine now, they're all scared to death because they're not going to have any power or anything. If we shut off their power, because most everything in Maine,
that's not going to happen.
Canada now because it's cheaper.
Yeah, that is not going to happen. But whatever. How's our signal? I got my signal up there, not too good.
Just
Can we all just be USA citizens?
Ontario, do New York's power.
Yeah.
NYC.
Simply Sue. Hey Sue, how's your weather, sis? And Ozzy girl, we saw the floods happening, and I waited for you, but I didn't see you there. I hope you're well. I don't think you're in the northeast. I think you're in the southeast. But don't get too greedy, and nobody cares. But the infighting between brothers, we're brothers here, Canadians and Americans, we're brothers, so it's all.
What's the deal between the Russia and Chinese? Supposedly,
Chinese.
Russia gets the western half of Canada, and China gets the east.
Well, I think they've got their own problems between the two of them, because China is mating with each other like cockroaches and filling up Eastern Russia with Chinese people, and the Russians don't speak the language, and so they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So
yeah,
I know she'll be wet.
Muslims in between.
Yeah,
China and Russia.
Islamics. Yeah. I know she
that are Sunni, so allied with Turkey.
Yeah. Turkey is moving into. Turkey is the group that moved into take over Syria already. So, Turkey saying that we're going to send troops down there. They're going to have the western part.
Turkey signed a defense pact today. That's the other news.
Yeah, but we knew that was bullshit. That's just Turkey doing his thing. And
Damascus by the end of the week.
And they'll get in bed with Russia again. They'll put the hook in a jaw, and it won't be Putin that does it. It'll be the next one. And Assad will come back into power in the back door. You watch. You'll see it. He'll be running the things from the past. So all this thing is to
do tariffs to all the Arab states, get them to take them.
Yeah. It's a big pissing contest. I can't stand it. But anyway.
We'll see if that happens.
It's very good to see you, Simply Sue. I've been worried about Ozzy because I know it's up in that area. The big floods that are happening up there in Australia, northeastern Australia.
Yep.
I didn't think they were down by you, Sue. I think you're down in the southeast, but I hope she's well. I know she's with her grandchildren.
What's from a cyclone, or is it just?
It's
like a big Pineapple Express that's been hitting down there.
Yeah, it's going to be El Nino next year for United States. So La Nina is going bye-bye real fast. What happens in Australia the next year happens in California. So the floods and the muds and all that stuff. Oh my gosh. The next winter is going to be brutal from all these fires. It's just going to be just all the way down, man. They're not going to be able to clean the 18 months to move all that dirt into a big hole. They only have a big enough hole to put it. It's wet season up there, yeah. Ozzy's a little lower than the floods, I think. I think so too. But I didn't know how far the floods were coming down, Simply Sue. I think she's above halfway, but not all the way in the north. And we'll see. Hunga Tonga Happy Eye is still playing effect on all this. Now you can see Santorini's calming down again. Had a real big peak and then slowing down again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to erupt there, Canuck, or do you think there's going to be a big quake?
I think it's more likely a big quake.
Yeah.
Based upon the stuff I've read and like the depth of the quakes. Like the quakes are all about the same depth. They're not like it's not like they're coming up like what it does in like Iceland.
Oh, they have only 2 seasons, wet and dry.
Yeah. So you can actually see if they're getting closer, right, by the depth to the surface.
Was it in the south, Sue? The floods in the south that happened a year ago or a year and a half ago? Was it?
That was a couple of winters ago.
Was it?
I think so.
And they got really flooded down there. And then the next year, Cali got all the rain. So that's kind of how I look what's happening down there. And I remember the big fires that were happening in Australia. And then the next year, Cali and all the way up to freaking the very top of the world, Alaska and Canada all burned for seemed like 3 solid years, just caught fire. And then and then the weird storms moving in, kind of splitting the jet stream out on the Pacific, a big high, separating the jet stream. It's crazy what's been going on. But yeah, okay. Bye-bye to YouTube and the other channels. If you want to know about us more, come over on twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live and join us in the mornings at 7 a.m. Arizona time. You can say mountain.
Well, you can't say mountain because you're Arizona. Your time doesn't change, but
yeah, it doesn't change. But they put it under mountain. I don't know why.
Well, just till after March, you go back to Pacific time.
No, Pacific comes to my time.
Well, whatever.
We don't change.
Yeah, where Joe it's stuck.
I think Mrs. Montana and myself, I don't think we change. Everybody else does.
Yeah, because in Canada, Saskatchewan doesn't change.
Yeah, Saskatchewan doesn't change,
but everybody else does.
Everybody else.
Well,
I wonder,
the U.S. and Canada have to decide together not to do it anymore.
Yeah.
To keep everything uniform, I guess. Because they already have a plan for it, both in Congress and the Parliament in Canada.
Well, California voted for it like so many times. They just never implemented it because of the governor who's a wackadoodle. Nancy Pelosi's offsprings.
Crazy uncle.
I can't imagine Nancy Pelosi having children. She must have had it in the when she's an alien. She looks like an alien. I'm just kidding. She's somebody's grandmother, somebody's mother.
But I'm not sure if the 7 is going to be in Greece itself. It might be closer to Istanbul. If
She
you
says
think
we have
about how it's all
fires, but over the less part of the state. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Canuck, thank you so much. Luke, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Remember, rabbit holes on Wednesdays. Sometimes we'll do it on Saturdays. We may do one. Look alive. Tomorrow class is at 1 o'clock online. I may be here. If not, I will replay it after. I intend to try to be here at 1 o'clock my time. Figure it out. Pacific, 12 o'clock. And class with Nick Zentner, and then also on Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock my time. Class will continue. We have some other videos to play tomorrow, so come back tomorrow, and we'll play those videos. I wasn't playing them tonight, but it's already 9 o'clock. And
Santorini took up 2 hours.
Sure.
Santorini rabbit hole.
And we're trying to solve the Palestinian dilemma, and we already solved the Canadian dilemma. That is, they're all now Americans. So, and it's not Americans being U.S. of A., but Americans being all North America. So that's the trend, and that's there'll be a big push for that. And it's not just, the Americans that want this. There's a lot of Canadians that want it too. So even the Mexicans want it. They want in on it. Say, hey, what about us?
Well, it's got to go all the way down to Panama, technically.
No, we can accept the Mexicans. I like the Mexicans. Like the Canadians too.
It's the new North American Union to be.
Yeah, you know it. You know it. You know it. We've talked about it before. Yep. The big push. Yeah. Anyway, love y'all. Have a good evening, and remember, don't get none on you.